Hello, fellow Rhodians. If you're as big a nerd as I am, then I'm about to give you a geekgasm you're never gonna forget. Well, maybe it's not that great. There are benefits, there are advantages. By the way, this is the Road to 40. I'm Jason Oliveira. Just in case you didn't know, we're here for another 200 and some odd days talking about me, and what's going on in the world today. Are you ready? You probably want to sit down for this. If you're probably already sitting down. If you're watching this on your phone, you might want to find a park bench or something like that. If you're a nerd, if you're not a geek, if you're not a nerd, then you should be okay. However, if you are, it might give you a little tingle. Let me just show you the advantages of working in a bookstore. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, what is that? Oh my god! 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Where did that come from? This comes out on the 19th, and I'm fortunate enough to have an early copy of it. We tried making 5th edition characters about a week ago, and we got to the point where we didn't have feats. Now, here it is. Feats are on page 167. I know this because it's the first thing I looked at when I grabbed the book. There are 5 pages of feats. That's it. In a, let's see, 316 page book. This book is overpriced. I will tell you that right off the bat. It's criminal how expensive this thing is. And I'm glad I get a deep discount. Okay. Feats. Here we go. Yeah. 5 pages of them. We couldn't complete our characters the other night because of 5 pages. Actually, there are some other things. Like, there are certain classes that weren't out with the public beta testing stuff. So, like, certain, let me see, monk, warlock. There were a few different races and that you couldn't play as well, I think. But I'll be really interested to really dig into this soon. We're going to next Friday get together and decide how our gaming future will continue. For the last, well, ever since I've lived here and have been playing Dungeons and Dragons, or any role-playing game for that matter, I've pretty much been the only one running it in the circle of people that I play with, play with, whatever you want to. It's like a pack. The rest of them play other games. I don't, though. My only game is with them. Just because I don't really know anybody else who needs a player or a DM for another game, which is fine because I don't have any time as it is. I'm about ready to choke that dog again and again and again. So we're going to decide now. Either A, we're going to go back to the campaign that I've been running for 20 years, over 20 years, my world. And we'll pick up where some players might choose to change who they are in the game or whatever and whatnot. We'll have 2 new players as well in that game, Katie and Alex. So that's choice 1. Choice 2, we've got 2 DMs that have stepped up. Alex and Nick both said they'd run a game. Nick wants to run a Cthulhu game. I don't really want to play a Cthulhu game, only because I hear it's really brutal, and I want to get back to, if I'm going to play, I'd really like to play in a high fantasy type world. I don't know. Maybe it's time to hand the reins of Athalia over to someone. Or 3, Alex will run a 5th edition fantasy campaign. And I'm down for anything. Honestly, we haven't played consistently in 3 or 4 months. Like, we used to play once a month. Sometimes it was twice a month if we got lucky. But it wasn't that often. So, yeah, I don't care. As of next Friday, I want to have a definitive plan as what's going on. Because if I have to start playing with myself, no, too late for that one. No, too late. No. Yeah, I don't know. I just really want to get back into it. I want to take a collection of stories that I've probably been telling over a long period of time now, and I want to gather them all together into a timeline for you. November, December, January, February, March. I can't remember when it is. New York Comic Con 2009. It's winter. It's cold. Cold as shit. My friend Brad had got a booth. It's right when you first enter the main lobby into the Javits Center, I believe it is. On the left-hand side, we were like 2 or 3 booths in, like prime retail, like real estate. Um, Not retail real estate, just good real estate. You get a lot of walk by. Everybody eventually walks by your booth who pretty much goes to the convention because they got to come up and down that escalator. I mean, unless they just avoid your aisle altogether, there's no way they don't see you at the very least. And for the people who don't give a shit about starting on one end and ending on another, you get a lot of people to go right up the middle because we did have a bunch of bigger booths around us of already established like individuals and companies. So we just lucked out. We got a great spot, great traffic. But I want to take you back to Lynchburg. I'm leaving. My car is packed, and I'm heading to New York City. Queens, to be specific. So the trip there is I know it's going to be a good day. I like driving. I like listening to books on audiobooks. And so I know with 8 hours, I can probably get a book in, maybe half a book, maybe a third of a book, pending the length of the book. And I'm going to take my time. I leave early enough that I'm going to stop. I have specific plans. I'm going to stop at Friendly's for lunch. And I want to stop at Michael's before I get to New York to pick up some sketchbooks and stuff. So I leave, stop at Michael's, probably about halfway there. Like, it was in Baltimore. It was near Baltimore because I remember thinking, it's not raining in Baltimore, and I really wish it was. I wish I had a camera for that trip. See, I'd love to do that either. Well, I think it's a little too late to try to get into New York Comic Con this year. I'd love to do San Diego next year and get a booth. I don't care if it's a shit booth. Just somewhere that I can set up some stuff to sell. And I bet you I could do pretty well at a place like that. I mean, I did. No, New York I didn't do too well. I've actually done better at local conventions. But you would think with like the 100,000 people that go through there, or 200,000, I don't know how many people go through there on a weekend. You know, that's a lot of exposure to your artwork or whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Maybe Maybe I'll have a TV there set up with, I don't know, the Road to 40 on it or something. Nonetheless, I get traveling. I ended up not going to Friendly's. I did go to Friendly's. I ate at Friendly's. And I continued on my way. Unfortunately, it kind of slowed me down a little bit when I first hit New York. One of the bridges or something I got caught on. And so I was supposed to meet Brad at his apartment in Queens with his girlfriend at the time, Alyssa. And they would just show me where the apartment is, load my stuff in, and then we would go right back to the Javits Center to finish setting up his booth. His booth was cool. Corey built this like tower that was made out of stone. So it was kind of a real geeky looking booth. And he had a register, and which was crazy. And he was selling his movies there, and he had his whole display thing. It was his thing. He was nice enough to invite me and my friend Paul Lorenzo, amazingly creative, talented musician, artist, unbelievable. I wish he had something out there that I could link to. If I can find it, I will. And so he finally comes back and meets me. Now it's pretty late at night. It's like 8 o'clock maybe or something like that. And we still have to go back to the Javits Center. So we do. I bring the stuff over with me. I feel comfortable leaving. He does the same. We set up shop, cover everything up, and then we go back to the apartment. Then, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first night I'm there. I could be wrong. It might have been the second night. We're going to say it's the first night because it makes for a better story. He says, oh, they clean the streets, this side of the street, so you got to park the next block over. And I'm already thinking, in my mind, I know Queens, and I know, inner city New York and the boroughs and stuff like that. I'm thinking, I don't want to do that. But I have no choice. So we go over a street over. He gets a spot right away. I had to go up a little bit, I think. And instead of waiting for me, he went back to the apartment. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm carrying a laptop and like a suit jacket or whatever. I don't know. And I'm walking alone on these, like, literally like feeling like they're alleys, some of these streets, to get back to the apartment. And so I get back with no problem whatsoever. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm nervous. I'm a hippie, dirty white hippie in inner city New York. Inner city life. Inner city pressure. Pressure. That's right. I just made a new word. Shut up. So we go back. Then we ended up going out to this little, I think it was Indian or a Thai restaurant nearby that they said it's really good, easy walking distance, So we go there. Literally a hole in the wall, but like it's nice inside, beautiful inside. But New York's such a different world. I could never live that life. I know I've said that before. So we eat, and the food is really good, really good. That's the first night there. We go back and we watched a movie. Oh, The Gamers, I think it is. About these guys that play D&D, so on and so forth. And then I ended up crashing because I was exhausted. Everybody's exhausted. We got up early the next morning, took a shower. The shower was so small. I remember feeling like a giant in there. I bought towels on the way up. I stopped at Target because I love Target. Target is going to sponsor us, hopefully, now, please. So we get back. We get up in the next morning. Now we're going to get breakfast on the way. Just some hole in the wall, you know. There's all these in the subways. There's all these little I don't know what you call them, little stores, little tiny markets, I guess, where you got like a cooler on one end, you got maybe one aisle in the middle, and you can walk around it, and that's like, but they've got a lot of food in there that you can get on the subway and eat, and then go to your next stop. Now I know why there's so many giant goddamn rats in New York. All that food that just falls around and stuff like that, or nonetheless, whatever. So I was hoping to get something hot. I remember I was really hungry that morning, so nonetheless we didn't. We ended up just getting this and heading over because I think we were running late or something anyway. And the landlord kept stopping by because they needed to paint, but he didn't speak English, so like he had no idea what the hell was going on. Like he just kind of had to be like, paint? I don't know. Unimportant to the story. So we finally get over there. We set up. We meet Paul. He shows up. Frank shows up. Brian. All of my friends I haven't seen from Massachusetts in 5 years. It'd been 5 years at that point, and so it was really cool. Getting to hang out there, and like sales didn't go well for me there. The shit that I was trying to sell sucked. I look at it now. I'm like, why would you even? Well, I guess at the time you think you're as good as you're ever gonna get. You know what I mean? I mean, you'll improve in some qualities, but like, I don't know. That's unimportant. What is important is, for the amount of time I sat at the table, I was also walking around. Because this is New York Comic Con. This is something I've always wanted to be a part of, or at least just visit. And I remember, I'm a part of it now. Yeah, sure, I had to pay my way to get in, set up that table and stuff. Brad had to pay a lot more. But I felt a part. It was the first step into a bigger world. This is exactly, I can't explain it any better than that. Like, taking that step and trying to go out there and do that was awesome. And then wandering. Like, I met a bunch of amazing artists. Christopher Uminga. Check him out. He does some really cool watercolor stuff. He does the stuff with coffee, too. Who else? Well, Jim Lee, Weiss Portatio. I got to meet some cool celebrities too, like Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca. Like, I got to shake his hand, and his hand just—it's enormous. It's stupid. I'm not kidding when I say it's twice the length. Like, it's just like it engulfs you. But it's cool. It was really cool to meet him and get his, a picture signed with him and stuff like that. I got to meet what's his name? He was in Lord of the Rings, Fringe. Hey, what's going on?
As if I don't want to cry enough about everything else.
What happened? The oven's not working?
Nope. Still preheating, and I can touch it.
That means it's not working. I'll go start a fire.
Yeah.
I'll be right out. Stove is broken. Awesome. So the first day, there's a lot of exploring, a lot of meeting people. I met Jerry Lawler. I bumped into Jim Lee. I've told you that story. I literally bumped into him. Chief from Battlestar Galactica. He was awesome. I really wanted to meet him. He's the only person I've ever met that for some reason I felt stupid. Like, I was just like, you're awesome. And then we went out with everybody, all our friends. It must have been like 22 of us, I think it was. I might have been 13. I can't remember. It was a lot of us. So we decided to go to this Thai restaurant, or no, Indian restaurant. Um, and we took up a whole, like the second floor, like the biggest table they probably could have fit up there. But the funny thing about this place, this is crazy, is there was a plate minimum. I've never been to a restaurant where, like, if you have that many people, there has to be a minimum per plate. Like, somebody can't just order fries. They have to order full meal. So, nonetheless, we ordered naan, and I think I got chicken korma that night. I can't remember. It was really good. And not most of us, but a lot of us went to this one bar to meet up with Gary, Brad's brother, and his girlfriend at the time, and a few other people who had driven up with them. I can't remember who it was. But, so we meet at this first bar, and it's just, like, loud and fluorescent lights, and people are dancing, and there's no room. It's like a hall. It's like a maybe 14 by 50 foot room. It's a crazy, weird shaped room. It looks like it might have been, like, something from the 50s, like a barber shop or something like that, and they tried to update it, but it still had this, like, late 60s, early 70s feel to it. And we couldn't hear each other talk, and I hadn't talked to some of these people in, 5 years, so we decided to go to a dive that Alyssa recommends, and we get there, and it is a dive. It's this Irish pub type deal. Smaller, way smaller, probably about maybe half the size, I'd say, maybe 30 feet, because there was a pool table in the back room, and there was a jukebox, and in life, I think we have moments where we come to this realization that you're in the moment. Like, you try to live in the moment as much as you can, I think, or I do. And this night was one of those moments. I mean, I'd had a few drinks. We got the subway, and then we ended up walking the rest of the way to this place, by the way. And so I'm, hanging out with these people that I hadn't seen in so long, and it was just, emotions were high, and I was already had a good buzz going. And then we got to talk to the bartender. He was a really nice guy. He'd had it for like ever. It'd been in his family or something like that. And you could tell looking at the bar, just the way he polished it. First of all, the polish on it was just like, you could see how much love was put into this bar. Like, he kept it really pristine. Even though it was like way dated. It was like 20 years old. It was like stepping back into a bar in the 80s, I guess. I mean, I didn't go to bars in the 80s because I would have gotten arrested. But I could just see how much he loved what he did and where he was, and the way he talked to the regulars, and even the people that were kind of belligerent or like rude or something like that. Like, he had a great way of handling them and asking them to go, or like being like, yeah, we don't have any more beer for you, or something like that. Like, I just remember that whole night, and it was really nice. The bathroom was horrible. Day 2, Comic-Con, more of the same, but now I'm in buying mode. I came to spend some money. I've never been to Comic-Con before, so I'm buying things left and right. Autographs, obviously. I hate when you have to pay for an autograph, though. That's so lame. Trying to make connections, walking around with portfolio type stuff. I didn't know that you could do like so much more at a convention, like have people drawing pictures for you, or bring your notebook, or bring something for them to sign, or buy something from them, or people will review like stuff too, from what I understand. I mean, not everybody. If they have the time, though, they will. And so I'm not ready at that point yet, I don't think, because I don't even know what I'm doing. But eventually I'd like to get some opinions from other artists, like as to what they see I could improve on, because there's a lot I know already. I need to get to the point where I'm happy with what I see, and let somebody else tell me what they see that isn't right with it, or that they don't like about it, at least so I can get another opinion. Yeah, got some neat stuff. Just I ended up going to the gas station. No, did I smoke at the time? 2009. I don't know if I had quit or not at this point. I think I had. Yes, I had. Because it was lunchtime, and Brad and Alyssa were just going to get pizza and eat there, but I kind of wanted to see more outside of the convention, because I've been around it like a million times at this point. I've gone and watched the Jedi fighting the Sith, and I've gone to different panels and just listened in. But I wanted to get out and see a little bit of the city, especially during the day, because we'd only done stuff at night. We'd been inside the convention. That first day, by the way, I had to design a poster for him on the fly, send it down to FedEx downstairs, and he had to go down and pick it up. It was crazy to do a value sign, like DVDs $10 or whatever. That was fun. So to go to this little deli / convenience store. I don't remember the name. It wasn't very memorable. And I remember when I ended up getting pizza too, actually, but the slices were just ridiculous. It was just unbelievable. I got 2 anyway because I was hungry. And I knew I wouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. Like, I knew it was convention center, and then probably late tonight, talking 1, 2 in the morning after we've gone out again. Back to the apartment again. So I got the 2 slices of pizza. I think I got a few drinks and a few snacks or something like that. And I looked over the counter and I looked at the price of cigarettes, and they were like $9.95 a pack. And I was just like, holy shit, that's unbelievable. I guess apparently in Massachusetts it's like that too. Here, though, I guess it doesn't seem like it's that. I see prices around and I'm like, that's a lot. I'm glad I quit. But, holy shit. That's insane. I can't believe it. That means like a carton could be $100. I'm sure you save a lot of money. They probably do a lot of deep discounting deals and stuff like that. So night 2, we eat. This might have been night 1. I can't remember. Night 2, we're gonna say though, it was called the Filmmaker Cafe, I believe it is. They had all different styles of food on the menu, and they had chicken parm. I hadn't had chicken parm in a long time, and somebody said it was really good there, so I said, I'll try it. I'm kind of in the mood for something like that anyway. Holy shit. Now there used to be a place back in Rainham called Humpty Dumpty's where they had mutant chickens somewhere that they were breeding, because like their chicken parm, I kid you not, was like half a pizza. Like it was huge. Like the breast of it couldn't have been chicken. I don't know what I ate, but they gave you 2 of those and just a fuckload of spaghetti and sauce and fries if you want. Fries with, what's the stuff you normally do with fish? The white tartar sauce was perfect there. It was so good. But this place, this cafe, the Filmmaker Cafe, way better. Like insanely good. Even the presentation came out, and like the cheese had been cut into curls like on top, and I'm just like, and it wasn't expensive either. It was like $9 or something like that, and it was so goddamn good. It was unbelievable. It was so good. Then I don't know what happened that night. The next thing I remember, we're in the subway heading back. I've got pictures of this, and I'm just fucking hammered. I can't remember what I don't remember. We must have gone, or maybe we just drank there that night. And there was this, I told you the other night, this Asian woman with a little like 9-month-old in a carriage. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, something like this. In New York, on a subway, I'd just seen giant rats running around, thinking, oh my god, there really are giant rats in the subways. That thing is crazy big. Like, I don't want it to come near me. That big. Like, possum big. Like, I'm like, ugh, possums. Fuck possums. I love animals. Possums. You're the devil on earth. You are the devil on earth. Yeah, the subway was a whole other world altogether, too. I could never live that lifestyle. I mean, it's kind of different for me because I have multiple children. But, like, and I know people do manage, if you've got a family in New York. There are families in New York. My wife. Anywho, I couldn't get used to it. It was just a crazy experience, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm going to let you guys go. I'm kind of exhausted, and I got to deal with this stove thing. You guys have a super duper night. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little happier together. I'm Jason Oliver. This is Road 40. Thank you guys for always coming back. If you got a stove, you don't need